Okay, let's call this erotic story time. This is a choose your own adventure novel by Alina Reyes. It's very erotic. I would even call it filthy at times, but I love it and it always turns me on and gets me off. So I'm going to read it from the perspective of the male because it's a rather unusual novel. You can read it from either perspective, the female or the male, but I'm reading it for you, especially you. So I'm going to read it from the perspective of the male. So this is the intro. Welcome, man, to the lair of Eros. I, its humble servant, want to be with you everywhere your desire impels you as you enter the doors of this kingdom. For my ambition and my ecstasy will be to offer you all the pleasures you indulge in, to give you myself to you as queen and subject, to experience with you all the ardor, all the excitement, to satisfy you with the most secret dreams and the most intimate impulses of our souls and our bodies. Man, my joy and my torment, should I address you familiarly? I can't even say that word, I apologize. As if touching, or more formally, with desire. At least know this, my dashing friend, that once we have passed through the doors of Eros, once we have been introduced to my master's labyrinth of fantasy, I will be your warmest accomplice. I will be the hand which guides your hand, and also the leech-like kisses of the silent mouths which will raise volcanoes of ash in your manhood. So if you are willing, let us play. For the only guide to losing yourself in this kingdom is the game, with its pleasures and its risks. At the entrance to the cave, you will choose a thread, then another. With each new adventure, these threads leading you through the maze according to uncertain laws of your desire and of chance. It's up to you to enter the labyrinth, to choose the door you want to open, so as to trace your own route, your own book, your own destiny. Come, see how dark it is inside. Now, everything is possible. Chapter 1, The Little Circus. It was summer. I didn't want it to end. It was summer. I didn't want to end up stuck in traffic on the motorway. I took the first exit and headed down the ribbon of asphalt, straight as a die through the forest. It was hot. The air, split open by the convertible, whipped against my skin. Not a soul. I put in a new cassette, turned up the volume, put my foot down. Only one captain of this ship. The car shifted, fast, docile, engine noise drowned out by the raging voice of Kurt Cobain. Suddenly, the road began to twist and turn. There was a junction in the shape of a Y. I took the left fork. A bit further on, I slowed down as I passed between some houses, crowded together on each side of the road. Half the shutters were closed, as is normal on very hot weather in siesta time. Now the air was stifling. I cut the music. In the centre of the village, perfectly silent, the cars and caravans of a little travelling circus were arranged in a circle in the deserted square. There was a red motorbike parked in front of the only bar. I parked next to it with the intention of going in for a drink, but I never entered that cafe. The moment I shut my door, a low growl drew my attention to the circus. Next to the tiger's cage, there was a black caravan. Above the arched doorway was an unusual sign, painted in tall, slightly shaky gold letters, "The Doors of Eros." Inside the dark doorway stood a small, dark-haired woman in a tight, reflecting moire dress, her arms bare. She didn't make any gestures. Perhaps she wasn't even looking at me, but I had a feeling that her shiny pupils were calling to me. It was at once an order and a petition, as if she had some urgent need of me. I crossed the circle of caravans to join her. She smiled. I saw that her face, though showing the effects of time, was still attractive and expressed a certain candour. Despite her gypsy-like appearance, her skin was white and her slender figure small-boned but plump. Seemingly naked under her tight dress, she had a childlike quality. She named a price, and I thought she was referring to her body. At the same time, she turned around confidently and opened the curtain covering the entrance. I watched the material stretch taut across her bottom. It was so round I had to stop myself touching it. I paid and went inside. The curtain closed behind me. I was standing in the dark. I took a few steps, then turned around to wait for her. Since I saw and heard nothing, I called, "Madame, are you there?" I hated to have to resort to calling out like this, but I didn't know her name, and the bitch had left me in the lurch. It had all the appearances of a trap, and I told myself I'd be better off leaving straight away, but she had succeeded in exciting me, and now, alone in the dark, my imagination was overheating. One thing was certain: there was no way I was leaving here without getting what was due to me. Perhaps little whore had come through another entrance and was already waiting on the bed for me in the caravan, in which case I was bound to find her if I went on a bit further. Or else she was going off the other side of the curtain, and I'd be better off going to find her instead of standing here in the dark where, who knows, I could be risking getting my throat cut by one of her accomplices. So I made my choice between going forward in the dark, door 2, or going back to look for the woman, door 3. So which door are we going to choose? Are we going to go forward in the dark through door 2, or are we going to go back to look for the woman by going through door 3? Vote now so I can read the next chapter. Thanks for listening.